Hello everyone, Sheila back again. Welcome to my channel. I didn't have time to get a video done this morning because, like I've said, I don't like doing videos when I have the light on, but it's been dark since about 2 o'clock today. It's only just after 3 now. You know, it's starting to get dark anyway, and it's been so cold today. I think we're about the most we're getting where I live is about 2 degrees today. Now I've had my heating on all day and I'm still cold. When I finish this video, I'm going back over on my settee and putting my blankets on my knee as well. And I'm going to move this chair further back because I think it's blocking the heat off the half of the radiator for when I'm sitting over across the other side of the room. But you know, I'm doing circular knitting. This is the first time I've ever attempted circular knitting, and I finished the little cardigan there. I stitched that up this morning. I'd done most of the knitting at my granddaughter's yesterday. I had a little bit to finish off last night, so I just kept on till I finished this little cardigan because I wanted to get it done. So that's what it looks like, and I have wrote the pattern down in my book, and I'll be doing a few more sizes before I sort out the PDF for it. A bit closer anyway. And that is what I call like a waffle, kind of waffle stitch. That's what I'll be calling the pattern, a waffle cardigan. So I finished that, and then I thought I had enough wool. I know I have a little bit wool left over there. I thought I've got enough to do a little hat, so I thought this was what I bought these small circular needles for doing hats. And you know, I've never done anything like this before, so something new for me, and I am learning from this. I cast the stitches on, and you see where I cast the stitches on, where the end is. You can see there's a little, like a loopy bit hole there. What I'm going to do when I finish it is I'm going to pull out, that was where the slip stitch was that I made the little knot for the start the casting the stitches on with. But when I was casting the stitches on, most of these hats I've checked up, they're all made on 16-inch circular cables, and that's what this is, but I had to really stretch it. I've got 73 stitches, and I had to stretch it. Probably my type of cast on is probably tighter than what a lot of other ones do. You know, they do that tail end cast on and other ways of doing it, thumb method and all that. But I do the cable cast on, and I think it might be a little bit tight for these, depending on how many stitches you have. But I had to really stretch it to get those stitches. And I thought, well, you know, and as I was adding more stitches, I was having to push them up and taking them around from where I was casting them on. That's what I was doing and that. And I thought, well, it's going to be terrible to knit, you know, the stitches not move. But after I'd knit a couple of rows, they're moving around as normal knitting like. But it just took me a little bit to understand the casting on, and then I thought, how do I join it to make it into a circle? The only way I could think of at the time was to take the last stitch that I cast on and put it onto the needle where I cast the stitch on and knit those two stitches together. Because that's what I was thinking, something like that. So I'm glad I had one stitch too many, or I would have been one stitch short for the pattern. But it worked out right. I started with a knit stitch, because it's a 1x1 rib. You can see it's a 1x1 rib. I started with a knit stitch and it ended with a purl stitch, so it was right. But I like to see, and I ended up with that little hole in the loop. Or after I'd done a couple more rows, it slackened off. It's the stitches, that was just the cast on row. So after I did that, I started looking up. I looked up how other people have been knitting these things on YouTube and that, and someone had a different way of, instead of knitting those two, the first stitch and the last stitch together like I did, they did something, I think they put the stitch onto the needle and just took one stitch over the top of the needle and then put that stitch back on, something like that. And she could pull the stitch in tight that way, so that's probably what I'll try next time I do it. But I've noticed as well, put my leg down there, I've noticed as well the stitches look very different, because this is knit one, purl one, rib, and I am knitting in the back of the stitch like I always do, but the stitch is a lot tighter and the knit stitch is all closer together. It's probably because you're working round one side all the time. You're not like turning over and over from the knit row to the purl row. So that knit stitch that you knit normally, if you're only using the two separate needles, that knit stitch would be purl on the other side, but it's knitted on every side on this one, so makes it look very different actually. Neater and tighter, that's all I can see. I don't know whether you can see it very well on here because of me having to put the light on in there. And then when I thought, I'm thinking to myself, this pattern is knit two, purl one. So I know I'm purl one, doing the knit two and the purl one. But the fourth row, in the actual pattern, using two separate needles, you're doing a knit row on the purl side. Oh, what am I going to do about that now? Oh, I'll just purl on that row instead of knit. So it's took me a little bit working out and that. But once I got used to it, I'm quite enjoying knitting like that, because it just keep going round and round and round. And it's not like crochet as well. You put the little stitch marker in where I start, and I start a new row. And it's not like the crochet where your next row comes one step when you're going around in a circle. You go around, and when you meet up with where you started, your next row is one step over every time. So even when you finish, you have one step over, but this isn't like that. It's knitted when you come to that where the stitch marker is, you're starting a new row, and it finishes the way you want it to finish anyway. But like I'm saying, I'm an old dog that's learning a new trick. And I'm quite enjoying using this, so I'll probably be knitting some more hats, maybe using some thicker wool and that, and to see how they go. But like I'm saying, I'm quite enjoying this, but I'm not going to do very long on this video because of the light. I've had to put the light on. I've got my standard light on over there and my other living room light up on the ceiling on. And it just spoils the quality of the video. It's just not the same. So you've got a little shorter video. Oh, and my Just Knitting channel is still going viral. I had 118 extra subscribers this morning. That's the most since I put that little cardigan up on that site. I had 118 extra this morning, and I think I'm up to about 35,000 views on it. It just keep going up and up and up. I just can't believe it. Someone please tell me what's so special about that little cardigan, because I don't know. But anyway, that's my bit for today. So thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll catch you all another time. So bye for now.